Whoa. Say that again. Say it again.
Lay it on me, lady.
Lady. Hi, peepees. Your girls are back. Today, we chit-chat. We mingle. We giggle. We laugh. We fall more in love.
Hello and welcome to Staying Up with Cami and Taryn. I'm Cami.
And I'm Taryn. And every night, Cam and I have a sleepover because we're married. And every week, we invite you to join us.
Thanks for staying up.
Hi, baby.
Do you know what I'm talking about when I say suitcase? Have you seen that?
Whoa, no, but I'm having a lovely moment that you're doing something like this towards me. It's always the other way around.
That's true.
Try again.
No, I feel like I
No.
up on,
I need to hear it again.
I keep you up on internet.
Here, hit me.
Suitcase. Suitcase.
I don't know. What is it?
There's an old video going around of what's his name? Barron Trump.
Oh.
When he's like a little kid. And he's like, here's my suit. I love my suitcase.
Oh my gosh.
Like he like has full
his mom's accent.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And everyone's just like, suitcase.
It's giving Mykonos.
Yeah.
It's giving, what's her head?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, what did you think I meant when I said Mykonos?
I thought you were saying it's giving like when people say Ibiza and they say it funny.
No, what's her head?
I have no idea.
Well, what are those noises you're having?
I was looking up the suitcase thing so you can hear them.
Oh, that old Disney girl.
Wait. I like my suitcase. I have to go to school now.
So now suitcase is out. Suitcase.
So wait, baby. Every day when I go down to work, once the basement's fixed, I'm going to say, I have to go to school now.
I have to go to school now.
But then you have to walk me down in case it's flooded again.
Well, only if you jump around like he did.
I didn't see it, but
anyways,
I generally do.
Yeah.
My Mykonos thing was...
I
Hillary Duff? No. It's not Hillary Duff. It's the other one.
The other one.
There's
Lindsay Lohan?
Lindsay Lohan.
Oh, and she's kidnapping children? No.
What?
You've never seen the videos of her like literally trying to steal children from this family? Like in her head, she is like saying she's helping them, but she like they're fine. They don't want help. The kids are great. And she's like trying to take the kids from the parents.
I think it's in
Mykonos.
I'm talking about how she picked up that accent.
Oh yeah.
And started talking.
Well, I'm pretty sure in the video she like puts on an accent. And everyone's like, Lindsay, what?
Yeah, because she's been traveling.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm so lost at her trying to steal the children.
You've never seen that?
No, that feels like it should have been national news.
Okay, it was.
Stop this woman.
She's like filming it, I think, trying to be like, I'm doing the good thing. These people are bad. At first, I think she goes up and offers the family something.
Where are we?
I don't know.
You believe Mykonos?
Maybe. I'm not sure. Okay. She's traveling. And she sees his family. And I think at first it starts seemingly innocent, like offers them food or money or something because she thinks that they need it. I don't know that they do or don't.
Is she filming or is she being filmed?
I think she's filming it. And she's like trying to help.
GoPro on her head.
And I'm pretty sure she's talking in an accent. It's almost like it's giving somebody screaming at somebody when they're deaf. And it's like you yelling is not helping. She's like speaking English, but in like broken English, as if somebody's going to know what she's saying.
I see.
And then I think the parents get a little sketched out because she's being crazy.
Yep.
And they try to like leave and she's like, you're not taking these kids. It's bad.
And they're her kids?
They're the family's kids, yes. Like Lindsay's the kidnapper. She's not helping anyone. She may think she is, but she's trying to kidnap these children.
I'm not understanding how we've let her like star in Netflix Christmas movies
because she's back. We've let her. She's not dancing in front of the DJ booth with her little leg. She's like,
but why is she back if she had a time of almost kidnapping children?
Because I think she was probably heavily on drugs, and people are like, oh, she wasn't genuinely trying to kidnap kids. She's just an idiot.
Got you.
So I think that's why people let it go.
Speaking of pop stars coming back.
Who?
We were front and center to Miss Christina Aguilera.
Oh, I literally thought you were going to talk about Sabrina Carpenter. I'm like, how is she coming back?
No.
Yeah. I have mixed thoughts on her, though, and her comeback.
On Chrissy Ag?
More so on the culture that we've created about, like, everyone's like, she's back. And the only thing that's changed is she is shockingly thin. I'm like, why is she back just because she's skinny? Like, so not skinny.
Did she
So
stop
skinny.
performing for a while? Or was she always the same level of performing?
I don't know. But
Because
it all
that would
happened when she
explain-
got really shockingly thin.
Yeah.
And it's just weird.
I see.
And like, she's 40 something and looks younger than she did at 19. And like, now it's like, oh, she's so back, baby. And it's like, yeah, she like went back in time.
She was like, so we went to the Sabrina Carpenter concert. It's the greatest night of my life.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Forever changed, grateful,
Forever
blessed, saw God. Like, I don't know what else you want me to say. But she brought Christina Aguilera out. We were right there. It was amazing. Beautiful, beautiful.
And they sounded incredible.
They sounded
together.
incredible. But Christina Aguilera is clearly on Zempi. And
Has to be.
and literally looked younger than she's ever looked in her life. I've never seen a baby picture, so think of that. But she literally looked maybe like 20.
But we know what she looked like at 20 because she was insanely famous at 20. And she didn't even look that young at 20.
What do you think that is?
I don't know. That's where I'm like, something's up. This is not normal.
You think it's like Hollywood?
No, I don't.
What do
think
they
it's
call it?
where they're like,
It's like the blood of the people.
of like babies.
What's that called?
What is that?
I don't know. It's like
I keep wanting to say it, and the only thing that's like coming to it's like here, it's in the back of my head, and the only thing that's making it to the front is creatine.
oh my god. Oh, it's close to that.
Is it?
Yes. I was gonna say Creole, like Creole seasoning. It's not that
No,
also.
it's not that.
Everyone.
is gonna listen to this podcast and be like, I'm gonna look young if I have Creole seasoning and creatine.
Wait, let me look.
It's
important.
so close. This is Crea.
What do I even Google? Like celebrities drinking blood, drinking.
I don't think that's it.
blood to be younger or something.
I don't know. Also, though, like Sabrina Carpenter is the smallest human I've ever seen in my life, and Christina Aguilera looked like tinier than her.
It's like, what is it? It's like called like an elixir.
It's I don't know.
Adrenochrome.
Chrome.
Yes.
I was like, that's not close to creatine.
Creatine, chrome,
That's it.
chromatine.
Yeah, it's like I've never bought into those kind of conspiracies, but then seeing a lot of celebrities, like we saw when they got too much surgery, it almost feels like that was all fake and they all did the too much plastic surgery to be like, look, you can tell when someone has surgery. And now they're all like, oh, I got my filler dissolved and I look young again. And it's
I'm
like,
hot now.
I'm sorry, but getting your filler dissolved is not going to make you look like 20 years old.
So you think that while the filler is getting dissolved, they also drank adrenochrome?
Maybe they're injecting adrenochrome. We are going to turn into the craziest conspiracy podcast.
We should do a whole episode where we like think about different conspiracies and like what they could actually be. Because you know what?
I think we've done that.
We need to do it again. There's been so many. What, if like a year ago, conspiracies were
Yeah.
kaputs.
Yeah.
Kaputs. Guys, I went on a crazy like alien tantrum
Deep dive.
where I've like watched 5 of 6 or 5 of 8 episodes of this Netflix documentary about aliens.
Yeah.
And I said to my friend Tyler on the phone the other day, I said, I am 100% positive that aliens exist and have visited Earth.
Yeah. She's there.
I scared myself.
Did you?
Yeah, because I'm not 100%.
Okay, but did you like my new alien theory? Because I really think I'm onto something with it.
Sure.
Do you remember it?
I don't know.
Okay. So we were watching, what's the show called? The documentary?
I don't know.
Well, BBs are going to want to know. So
It's like number 1 or 2 or 5 or something on Netflix.
1 or 2
It
or
doesn't
5. There's no way.
Because we don't know
3
the
or
names
4.
of stuff this episode, and that's on everyone.
Yeah, sorry guys. This is just a ramble rant.
I was at the cardiologist this morning. Too much is happening.
So we were watching the documentary, and a lot of it talks about these crafts or whatever, UFOs, whatever you want to call them. No,
UAPs.
What's the one that goes on S?
USOs.
Unidentified submerging.
Submergible.
Whatever, submergible. There's all this stuff about them like going in and out of the water seamlessly, blah, 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 blah. And I got to thinking that there's so much of the ocean we don't know anything about. And we are clearly, I was going to say allegedly, but it's not alleged, it's just happening, ruining our planet, like humans.
Yep.
We're killing our planet.
Yeah.
And what if there's this whole little universe down in the ocean, the areas that we have not discovered yet of like aliens, whatever you want to call them, things that do exist. And they are starting to feel the effects of us ruining up here. And they're like, what the fuck are the humans doing? We got to go check it out. And that's why they're going in and out of water so much. It's like they're not seen like so far in outer space. Like I feel like in the show we were watching, it wasn't like a bunch of NASA people really far up the satellites catching stuff. And then isn't that where you would see it as it's like coming in? It's all like low.
A lot of it's low.
In water and below.
And like where like plane height.
Yeah. So my theory is it's not some other universe outside or other planet. It is in our oceans. And the reason why they're checking in on what food we're eating and what kind of military we have is like they're trying to figure out because they are invested in our planet because it is their planet. And I think that's a pretty good theory.
I think that's a really interesting theory. I just think why would they be hidden if it's their planet and they've been here all along?
Because we're scary and they're like, we don't want.
But you don't think they're like smarter than us and they couldn't just annihilate us?
But they might be better than us and not want to just annihilate enemies.
But if they're scared of us, you would.
But you can be scared and not want to kill something. That's like
fair.
the whole problem with humans is that we're scared.
That's fair. I walked right.
We're scared of people, so we kill and suppress and do horrible things to things that we don't understand. And you fell right into the trap.
Yeah, well, I'm not thinking of
and
like
maybe they're not. Maybe they
fellow
see value
human.
in us.
I was thinking something else that's like.
But there might be a purpose to us where they're like, just like we've done a million times. If there's an ant outbreak, then we put in another species to wipe that out, and then we cause all these issues. Like anytime you mess with the system, it messes back.
Yeah.
So they probably don't want to wipe us out. They probably want to fix it because they're probably also like maybe more compassionate and smarter and nicer and better than us.
What do we do with this information?
Nothing. I don't think anything.
Do you feel
other than like maybe like let's try to be better, and then they'll like leave us alone.
I'm down with that. I do think it's kind of silly that we haven't thought more about the fact that half of our planet, is it half, is water?
More than, I believe.
Yeah.
I think it's like 80% of the Earth's surface is water.
I should know that.
I'll
We
look it
should
up.
know that.
Well, I might be right, so maybe I do know it. Let's see.
If we had a producer right now, they would be like, it's actually da-da-da%, and then we'd be like, whoa. But now you have to do it, and I have to hear your little fingers type.
I know, with one hand too.
Typing away. Because here's my thing. Say your theory, it's not yours.
The autofills were crazy on that. 71%.
Nice.
I said 80.
You said
Amazing.
80. I said 50. So
Yeah.
we were almost half and half. You were closer.
About 71% of the Earth's surface is water covered, and the oceans hold about 96.5% of all of Earth's water.
Okay.
Yeah, like we're all water here.
So my theory then is it has nothing to do. So let's say a different theory than yours. It's not that they are from the water. It is that we are one of their many experiments. We're probably one of the only water planets that we know of. There could be more, but at least in our galaxy, we're the only water planet.
Okay.
Right?
I think so.
I'm quite sure. And so they're like, what the fuck? What's in the water? It's more than half of us as
you're
a
like,
planet.
these little surface things don't matter.
100%.
We got to see what's going on down there.
Like we're the land people are the minority to them.
Yeah, like if we went on another planet and most of it was covered in a green surface and a little bit's covered in the pink, we're probably looking into the green first.
Well, you're at least looking into both. So it makes sense to me that they're in the water.
I get it. I'm just like, why is no one talking about the option of it being all water? Why are we immediately going outside of our own universe when we've already talked about how impossible it is to travel that far in such a short amount of time, and they'd have to be so advanced to be able to do it. And the way they move is like how you move in water. It's so free flowing. I'm like, that makes, why aren't we talking about that as an option at least?
My quick read,
Yeah, tell me.
as a ufologist, I believe they call it.
No,
I do think you said that in one of the episodes.
I despise that you even know it.
No, you don't.
I don't. It was so cute. But two, that you referred to yourself as it.
No, I'm just saying, as a ufologist, as a urologist,
Why are we changing all the ologies?
Baby, I'm feeling crazy. As a ufologist, though, I do believe that we would know we would have had more encounters. We have had more encounters of seeing stuff in the sky than we have in the water.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
You sure about
Are you sure about that? Yes.
Hmm.
But also, we don't have like constant cameras and stuff in the water.
But how much of the ocean is areas that no people are ever at?
Probably
we're
a
not
lot.
we're not talking about right on the coast where people are, where people can see. There's so much ocean that is not even touched typically, the surface of it. I'm not talking about underneath it. There's so many areas that's where they could be going in and out of and then moving around where you would never even know.
Which makes sense
There's
because
no people there. And no
some
people
of
in
my
eyesight.
some of my comrades in the ufology world
Yeah.
were telling me that most of the sightings are in places where there are not like air traffic control or like
Yep.
stuff because
Yep.
that is where they like can be themselves.
Well, as an oceanographer,
oh,
I'm
for
calling
so many things.
I'm calling it ocean.
Cool.
Can we talk about another little creature? And that creature is Franklin.
100%.
So Taryn and I did a DNA test to figure out how old our little Frankie J is because he was like fully grown whenever I adopted him. So I had no idea. And we've always just kind of guessed.
Whenever we adopted him.
Sure. But no. But sure.
I wasn't there yet, but in
You weren't
spirit.
there yet. When I solo adopted my little baby Frankie J, we just kind of like assumed his age. Some vet said his age, but we've never really had a birthday. So I genuinely was wanting to do this so I could have a definite date to celebrate. Even though it's not definitive, there's like a window of his age. But I was like, oh, if it tells me this, sure. Tell him the news. I can't bear to say it.
Frank is 45.
Oh, shut up.
No, Frank is 8 and 4 months. So we thought he
Allegedly.
was 7.
And like
In, like,
a
2
month
months.
or 2. Yeah, he's a year older than we initially anticipated.
Which, as dog owners, you know how this
It's
feels.
tough.
Especially like 8 is when it starts to get creaky up in here.
Yeah,
8 is when you start to go like, oh,
he's a senior dog.
he's a senior dog.
It also,
I love your hair.
thank you, honey.
I really love it.
Thank you. That's very nice. It also really made me sad on a different end. One, just being like, oh, he's a year older, so that's a year less of Frank time.
Yeah.
But we're pretty certain he had a not so great life before BC, before Cam. So it just makes me sad that was a little bit longer than I thought.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, if he was like a year and a half, he doesn't really remember a lot. And he has a lot of like little triggers and trauma still
Yeah.
that I've been surprised that it's like he's had how many years of like the best freaking life
Yeah.
that he's even still having any issues. And then I'm like, oh, you were like fully adult before you were out of that situation.
That's quite sad.
So it kind of hurts my heart. But on a positive note with it,
We've been calling him 8 Boy.
we've been calling him 8 Boy. And we love a little nickname for Frank. But whenever I was researching the best time for Taryn and I to get pregnant, to have our son be like the proper astrology sign that would be the most compatible with us,
Our human son.
our human son, not our furry guy, but turns out
Ew, furry guy.
he's a furry
I
guy.
know, but just like I couldn't get out human son. So then I was picturing like a human son that's a furry guy.
It's reminding me of Jumanji when the little guy turns into a monkey.
God, I was always scared of Jumanji.
Oh yeah, that was scary. But how cute was he?
Oh yeah,
When he
that
was,
was
like,
scary.
And he like, I don't think he could talk. It was so sad.
I feel like I must have watched through my fingers like this.
Probably. But when I did all this research, it came back that the best son for me and Taryn combined would be a little Cancer boy. And I've been bummed because I think with the timing of IVF, we missed that window. We're not going to have a Cancer son. But Frank's birthday is June 30th, making him our Cancer son. We already have him. And everyone we told is like, of course he's a Cancer. That makes so much sense.
What you guys can't see is that he is laying on the ground right now
God.
asleep behind the camera.
And his like head is.
He looks like a big ass rat and I love it.
I love it. Rat boy. So anyways, I just think that's so cute that like we were a little bit
special.
bummed. It was a little roller coaster of emotions. And then now it's like, oh, we got our little Cancer son.
Yeah.
Our sweet guy.
Cam and I wanted, changing subjects, to unpack something that we learned about Cam together the other day while we were driving, which is that I was saying I was asking Cam if she was attracted to Sabrina Carpenter.
Yeah.
I was like, do you find her hot?
Yeah. And I had a very like long-winded answer of that when there's categories of like just not attractive, cute, hot, or I think you're hot. Like I'm like, I think she's a hot person. Like she's also cute, but I think no one would be like, oh yeah, she's just cute. Like her, the way she acts, everything, like she's hot.
She's hot.
But I'm like, I don't find her attractive. But also like she's not really my type. And then we got in a long conversation of like, when do I ever just see somebody like a celebrity or someone I don't know and be like, oh my God, that person's so attractive.
Because I feel like I see someone and I can say that person's hot. Then I can see another person and say that person's hot and I'm attracted to them.
Yeah, like we'll be watching Love Island and you're like, oh my God, they're hot.
They're
like,
hot.
Yeah.
But in a way that like, I think when people say, oh, are you attracted to them? That has a bad rap because it's like.
It makes it sound like you want them.
It makes it sound like.
But it's like they're beyond just objective hotness and you're like, I'm
feeling
you hot.
something.
Yes. Yeah, there's like levels to this.
It's not like I'm going to go do something. It's like I feel attraction towards this person.
Yes.
I don't feel that, which is a good thing, about people that I know. I very rarely ever feel
I'm attracted to
someone that I know. I can say like, I think you're
rarely?
hot. Huh?
I said rarely? Just kidding.
Really? Like
I know, I'm just saying. So there are times.
I mean, in my life, there's no one I can think of right now that I personally know that I think I'm attracted to.
Yeah, but you can watch a show and be like, damn.
100%. I think the distance helps me be attracted to them because I'm like, don't know them.
Yeah.
But then I was saying to Cam, I'm like attracted to Sabrina Carpenter, which is so weird because she's not my type. I don't like a really small.
Yeah, our little Polly Pocket princess.
She's so Polly Pocket princess. That it like normally that would be like kind of spooky to me. But I'm just so genuinely attracted to her. And I was like asking Cam, so you can say that she's hot and you can say that she's attractive. You're not attracted to her. So what we realize is like I can feel attraction towards other people that we don't know. Cam can say that they're hot, but doesn't feel attraction. And we were like, when is the last time that you have felt like,
yeah,
I'm so attracted to someone else?
Yeah. And I just don't really experience that. Like even on Love Island, Love Island style people aren't typically my type, but when they come out first, I'm like, you might lean attractive. I got to wait and see. I got to see your personality. Like I really feel like I cannot be attracted to someone until I know their personality at all. And it's not even just like, oh, I care less about looks. I care more about personality. It's not that. It's that I genuinely am just like not sure how I feel about their appearance in general until I know them.
Well, but here's a pushback is that Sabrina Carpenter, you think is hot. And you think she has the best personality.
Oh, yeah, that's a good... I mean, yeah, but I just don't know her. And that's like, I don't know. I just don't feel... I feel like this is... So I was telling Taryn about being demisexual, which I don't think that I fully am. I think maybe to a degree. And if anyone doesn't know, I looked up the full definition. It's where people only experience sexual attraction after forming a strong emotional connection with someone. And I don't think I need a strong emotional connection necessarily. I think it's the same realm of that. I also feel like I have somewhat facial blindness. If I see someone, let's say it's like one of your friends I've met a handful of times. If I see them in the context of we're going to hang out with people I know that you know, and it's like your friend group, and I see them, I know that person. Easy. I might forget someone's name because I'm not great with names, but I know that person. When I see a person outside of the context that I expect to see them, I don't know if I know them. Like even those two girls came up to us at the bar the other day. I knew these people.
Same.
I knew I had just met them.
Or I thought I knew.
And like I know this happens to everyone, but it just happens to me a lot where it was like I had seen them in the context of a specific friend group a couple times. So I knew who they were and then officially met them a couple weeks ago and then was like, okay, got it. Now I know who you are. Great. Saw them out of that context and was like, oh my God, did I see you on TikTok? Did I meet you? Have we had a conversation? Like, I panic in my head of trying to file through like all of those things. I also think I have a hard time, like, let's say one of my friends gains or loses weight. Like, I feel observant sometimes where, like, if someone gets a haircut, I'll notice. But people become, their appearance is so wrapped up in who they are to me that their appearance doesn't change a lot. Like, even if I could notice somebody cut their hair, gained weight, whatever it may be, but they look the same to me because now their appearance has formed in my head and they have become, it's like you're a blob until I can fully form a picture of you. So then your blob can shift into something that I find attractive, or your blob can shift into a form that I find unattractive based on who you are.
Got it.
It's almost like extreme versions of like an ick and a yum, where it's like once someone does something that kind of puts me off, they look different to me. Or once someone does something that's like funny, cool, smart, whatever, they become more attractive. It's really hard to, I can't separate personality.
I just can't, we don't ever talk about the attraction side is what I'm saying.
Because it can't form. Like, I also have never been one for big like celebrity crushes.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't know you. Like, I think Sabrina Carpenter seems so funny, so cool, so witty, but I don't know her in person. So I'm like, this could just be all an act. You could be a horrible human being for all I know.
Yeah.
So I have a hard time liking anyone at all. You know, I don't know. Like, there are some people that I'll like enjoy watching their TikToks, but I don't like to be like, oh, I love this person or I like this person. I feel weird even saying that because I'm like,
yeah, you really
know
don't.
you.
Now that I think, I'm like having such an epiphany. Like, you really, you're almost sometimes a little like skeptical of saying that you like someone.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't.
It like feels like you're voting for them.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not endorsing this person.
Yeah, you're
all.
like, I just like this video, or I like their style, or I like
even Alex Earl when she started coming on the scene. Like, I was like, there's some formula of her like doing her makeup and talking to camera that is just appealing. It's so easy to watch. But I wasn't like, I love her.
Right.
Which, nothing against her. I don't know the girl.
Yeah.
So I also can't like her. But then your friend Haley, who you worked with.
Yeah.
I did not know her that well, but I knew her enough, and every interaction I had with her, I enjoyed. I thought she was a great person. Now I follow her on TikTok and love her content. And I can get there with her where I'm like, I love her.
Right.
Everything she does is great. I think she's so awesome. She just announced she's pregnant. Like, I feel genuine joy for her because I already had met her. I can't I separate reality with any kind of content. It's so separate to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just find it interesting because I've always been a massive crush person.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like so crushy.
I've never even had a lot of like crushes in my life.
I was like so fucking crushy my whole life.
And you can like be fangirly. Like,
yeah,
you loved caring about like boy bands growing up and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, even when people are like Backstreet Boys are in sync and like, who's your favorite? I just would like copy whoever was around me.
Yeah.
I listened to NSYNC more because, and I mean, well, you know what? I feel like I always chalk this up as like a gay thing of like, oh, I just didn't like guys. So of course I wasn't like having these crushes on these guys. But I guess I was too old for when Fifth Harmony was a thing to be like, that one's my favorite.
We were a little older.
So I don't really have a comparison. Like, I was obsessed with Britney Spears.
Yeah.
But I think I was like, I want to be just like you.
Yeah.
I don't get crushes.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't. I'm like, what?
I mean, I can't think of a crush that I have had that this is also realization. I don't get crushes on people. I'm even thinking like before we were together, like I don't really get crushes on people that I know.
Ours are like so opposite.
100%.
Because I mean, you want the fantasy of it. That's why crushes are fun on celebrities, because they can be whatever you want them to be.
Right.
Where I don't like that. Like, I'm not going to let myself be disappointed in the reality of who this person is.
But that makes it, or I would that almost makes it sound like I have the delusion, or that people have the delusion when you have a crush on a celebrity or whatever, that it could happen and that you don't understand that that's not who they are. I fully
I don't think that's the case.
Oh, okay. I'll
feel
say
that
for
way.
myself. I feel for me, like Joe Jonas or something. I'm like, I don't think we would vibe in real life.
No,
But I
can
have a crush on him.
Yeah.
Or like Sabrina Carpenter, Dua Lipa.
Yeah.
I don't think Dua Lipa and I would get along at all.
But you're like crushing.
But I'm like, I'm attracted to her.
Yeah, I don't think anyone would
You know?
say people who do that are delusional.
Yeah, no, that was
think-
dramatic.
You know,
I don't
if
mean that.
anything, you could say the same thing about me. Of like, I'm delusional that I'm like not going to fangirl over somebody because I'd have to know them first. I'm not going to get to know Dua Lipa.
You could, and you guys would be hot together. I'd hate it, but you'd be
We would
really
make
hot
a great
together.
couple.
You
She's too young for me.
see, like even just yeah. I mean, that's fine.
You know what I
Age
mean?
is fine to be like icked out by.
Yeah,
How old is she?
I don't know.
Don't scare me. How old?
She's not that young.
Okay.
I don't. How do
We need a fucking
Lipa.
producer.
No, we don't. Look at this. I'm doing great. She's 29.
Oh, that's fine.
Oh my god, I thought she was like 26.
Okay, 29.
Okay, I can
is
be with Dua Lipa. Thank you, honey, for making me come to the realization that Dua and I would be great together.
It's just funny because I always felt guilty when I would express.
Oh, with us. I thought you were talking about like growing up. You felt guilty having crushes.
No.
No. Please continue. I was getting confused.
In a relationship,
Yeah.
you and others, I have always felt weird expressing
I don't
attraction.
care.
Not being like, obviously, if I'm like, oh, I want to fuck
Yeah,
them,
if
that's
you're
crazy.
inappropriate or if it's like non-fucking stop about
Yeah.
someone, that would be weird.
But I'm like when we're watching a Sabrina Carpenter concert, I'm like, this is crazy that we're seeing this live. Like,
yeah.
so hot.
Yeah.
And I always feel bad even talking like that because I think our
The way we see things is.
the way we see it is different. Like,
But I'm just like, what's gonna happen? Like, is Sabrina gonna see you and be like,
No,
you
I don't even want that. I'd be so
divorced her?
nervous.
Like, there's nothing to be worried about.
No, it's,
But the way I view that is like, I feel like I'm at like the way I would feel if I'm at like a burlesque show and someone's hot. I'm not like, oh my god, I'm gonna go be with this person.
I'm not like that either.
I know, but that's why I'm saying like there's nothing to feel guilty about. I don't think you're gonna call up the guy on Love Island and be like, hi Taylor, I think you're so
I want
hot.
him to be my son. I don't want to be with him.
Okay, well then that's weird. He is perfect.
Yeah, I guess I'm not explaining well why it is like an interesting thing to me. I think when you don't feel that, I almost see it as like it's not this. But the simplest way I can think of it is like it's almost like you're better than me. Not that you think that, but that it feels like, oh, I don't have those little crushes or like
those schoolgirl crushes.
yeah.
No, it's just it's not better than
I know
less
it's
than.
not.
It's just different. Like I don't.
I'm just surprised,
I
I
don't
guess, that you
develop
don't naturally
those.
go there.
Yeah.
More than you do. Like I can't think of a single time in our relationship that you've been like, that person is so hot and meant it
Yeah.
in a way that was like not just like you're hot.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah. It doesn't really happen a lot.
Anyway,
It's just the way I am.
learn something new about you.
Yeah. Okay. Talking about things that you've learned that are new. I learned a new term.
Tell me.
You know that podcast? I've actually never listened to it, which is crazy because I think I would like it. The I've Had It pod. It's like those older women. They're really funny.
Oh, I've
It's like
seen
two
clips.
blonde girls, I
yeah,
think.
like two like moms.
Yeah.
Mom vibes. Yeah.
They're so funny.
Haven't seen but have heard
I
of
have
it.
seen so many clips of them on TikTok and I've never gone and listened to an episode. So I'm going to go do that later. But they were talking about a ninja lesbian. Have you ever heard this term?
No.
I was so shocked to hear a term I'd never heard before.
Yeah, as the lesbian, you were shocked.
What is your guess on what a ninja lesbian is?
I'm thinking of a ninja's movement. I'm thinking like quick, crazy. They can do so many things. They can like
Okay.
hide or like be attacking. Maybe it's like they can do a lot. Like they're like shapeshifter lesbians.
I'm going to give you a hint. I could be considered a ninja lesbian.
Oh, is it because you're like super femme, but then can like be
Yes, it
like
is
doing stuff
a
around the house?
lesbian who basically can be stealth and walk around in a heterosexual world
Oh.
and pass and go under the radar.
Yeah, that's you.
Yeah.
Oh my
which is
gosh.
so funny.
Did
well, I guess I technically couldn't because like I don't know if I didn't look up what the term all encompasses. Like I'm out. I have a ring on my finger. I have a wife. Like I'm just going off of appearances that it's like
Yeah.
I could pass as straight.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that's what it is, but I didn't go into too much detail. But I just thought that was so funny. A fucking ninja lesbian
Yeah, that's you.
is hysterical.
You could absolutely just like be out in the world. And even if what's so dumb about that is like, even if someone looks like a lesbian, like me, I think I look gay. I think when I'm out in the world, if you had to guess if I said I was married, you would
man or woman.
man or
Make a
woman.
guess.
I would assume people would guess I was gay, especially against you, right? If we're walking together. It would,
Depends who you ask.
but today,
Depends what type of person.
today at the doctor asked, "Are you married?" And I said yes. And then
they asked about
I
your
was
husband?
like, "Please don't fucking ask me a question about him."
Ugh,
Quote unquote.
I hate when
It's like,
people
I
jump
know
to
you're
that.
going to. He was like an older man
Yeah.
and whatever. And he just said, "Okay, kids." And I said, "Nope." And he said, "Okay." And then he like picked up this little recording device that he uses. And he
Oh.
was like, "Patient is married, no kids." And that was it. And I was like,
Well, it's also like it just doesn't like in a medical setting in that capacity. It didn't matter.
not at all. But I
Yeah.
was like, that's so funny to me that you are, we're all presumed to be straight for the most part
Until proven gay.
until proven gay.
Straight
Like,
until proven gay. Yeah.
you,
That's the
it
world
makes sense.
we exist
You look
in.
straight-ish, like to the world standards.
Yeah.
But even someone that
I think, the
doesn't look
most
straight.
stereotypical looking lesbian in the world still will deal with people being like, your husband home?
100%.
Like I just don't think any of that matters ever. It will always be that way.
When you said the most stereotypical lesbian looking person in the world, I bet we both had a picture in our heads of who we were picturing.
I didn't have a specific person.
Did
I
you
kinda-
have an energy?
I was building them in my head like a paper doll.
Okay.
It was like a shape of a human, and then I put on some long cargo pants
Check.
and like a polo shirt, popped collar. Like I
Yeah.
was going that route.
Popped collar.
I know. I was going like old school lesbian.
You went like Mama Dinosaur.
Yes.
That's
yes.
exactly what I did.
Yeah.
With short hair.
Yes.
Buzz. Not buzz, but
No,
like a
has
fade.
a little spiky on
fade.
top. Maybe a little,
Spiky
yes.
on top. Yes, 100%.
But like they're also wearing pink.
I saw pink too.
Oh my god.
I saw pink too.
I actually for a second envisioned, those long shorts we all had growing up that were like
Zip off.
picnic print.
Oh, like
they would be,
Burberry.
but they would not Burberry colors. They'd be like pink
The
and
pink
green.
and green.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes.
I think
They were from Abercrombie, I think.
Oh, I loved them.
Yeah,
I
and they
think
were-
all of us who wore them turned out to be lesbians.
They were like knee length.
Yeah. And some of them would have like
Yeah.
a built-in belt that was the exact same print as the shorts. Do you remember those? It was like a fabric belt.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
I used to wear those shorts with like a Lacoste white shirt with a popped collar.
It's kind of what I was envisioning.
Remember when people wore 2 polos?
A girl I went to high school with
Why did you
sometimes
do
would
that?
do 3. And she
That's
was so
crazy.
skinny and little that she just would have like a bunch of shirts on and it would be like white on top and then like a pink one underneath. They were great. It was like a papa color.
I'm picturing Joey from Friends with all of Chandler's clothes on. Is it Chandler?
Crazy.
Oh, I'm getting a phone call. Oh, it's not.
Oh, I thought that was going to be our embryo call. I was like, PBs are going to hear live.
Guys, I'm supposed to find out in the next day or 2.
We are supposed to find out.
Sorry, we are supposed to find out in the next day or 2 if any of my embryos made it through the final round of testing. And I'm like sick to my stomach, anxious about it. I think about it all day.
Sitting and waiting is so painful. It's like actually criminal.
I've gotten to the point where I'm imagining my reaction. It doesn't help, but it does kind of feel like I'm it does help. It feels like I am pre-experiencing 2 different realities
Yeah.
so that I feel
Prepared.
prepared.
Yeah. We deeply disagree on how to handle the buildup of waiting for news. I am very big on like, do not put negative energy out there. If you envision getting that call, hearing the bad news, feeling sad, I'm like, that is manifesting that to happen. Like, it is not worth preparing yourself. Like, we will deal with whatever happens when it happens, but putting that energy out there is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like, we are creating our reality. And the other day, finally, I got frustrated and I like said, like, you have to stop putting that out there. And Taryn was like, do you really deeply to your core believe that? And I was like, yes, I do. I really deeply do.
And so that's how you see it. How I see it is, I don't always think this clearly, but with some things that aren't to do with like my immediate health, which this is kind of, but it's not going to affect me.
Adjacent, yeah.
It's adjacent. I'm just looking at the likelihood, the statistics of what's supposed to happen, which is that 1 in 4 is the likely number that comes back healthy. That's the average. So I am preparing myself.
I had 50% come back healthy.
You had 50%, and that's awesome. And you have had higher percentages throughout the whole experience.
Because I hadn't thought a negative thought for
I was having great ass thoughts first round around.
No, you weren't. You were always talking about numbers and the drop-offs. And
I was nervous, but I wasn't. I was still like, this is going to be awesome. I'm going to get blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Second time around, I feel like I've been better. But just now, this piece specifically, I'm like, bro, I am expecting to get a call and them to say 1 out of 4 made it. I am playing the amazing scenario out that it is like, you want some good news? Like 4 made it, Tara. Like 4 of them made it.
You just don't want to be blindsided.
I just don't want to be blindsided.
You don't want that like massive letdown of like, this is happening. I'm going to get X amount, blah, 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 blah. It's all good. Right. And then to hear anything lower than that to crush you. But I feel like I like prepare myself without playing the scenario. Like I'll be like,
that's
don't
on
know
not
what's
having
happen.
OCD.
Yeah.
I don't have that opportunity. I would love to not think like that.
Yeah.
It takes so much mental load for me to stop my brain from replaying scenarios over and over again.
I mean, I'll play scenarios over and over again. That's the only way I used to be able to fall asleep. I would like play a scenario in the exact same way until I would fall asleep. But I just typically try to make them extremely good, positive scenarios.
That sounds really healthy
I
and
think
nice.
It's also almost like an OCD fear where I'm so scared that if I even let myself think it,
could be.
Now it's going to fucking happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like, no, I cannot. I just played that negative thing in my head. Well, oh no, this is going to be bad. And I have to play the positive one 18 times to counteract that one negative time.
I can't spend much energy on thinking about how I think because I will spiral so hard. Like I do know that I have like some guardrails and some things that I need to like stop myself from going down certain spirals and whatever.
Yeah.
But as someone who has had health anxiety my whole life, I used to always think if I think this, it's going to happen. And then I would shit myself out of fear all the time.
Yeah.
That even having a thought was going to create my reality.
Yeah.
So I'm also in some ways scared of manifestation.
Yeah.
Because I've trained myself and helped myself think that
just having
not
a thought
all of my
isn't gonna
thoughts
ruin
are
it.
reality.
I hear that.
And so I don't like to be like, shit,
My thoughts are
that
reality.
thought is reality.
Yeah.
And if I think so hard about it, it's going to happen because I would have
You're
died
thinking too many times.
400 times over from heart attacks if I could think my way into one. So I love the idea of manifestation. I think it sounds really nice. And I like the idea of like, oh, 4 are going to come back. 4 are going to come back. Like I know it. I know it. That's so great. But I also have to weigh it with like the likely scenario is that 1 comes back. It'd be fucking sick if 4 comes back. If none come back, it's
but
not
in
the
my
end of
head,
my world.
I'm like, the likely scenario is not that 1 comes back because this scenario, our scenario, has not happened yet. this is just, so in my mind, like, I hate statistics. I hate numbers because I'm like,
But you
But
really
that
like them when it
makes-
comes to my health.
well, yeah, because I have to, because
So-
I have to go against everything that is lying to you, your anxiety lying to you that something is happening. When it comes to like hoping for a future and a good thing to come, I'm not going to go, well, statistically, the most likely thing is a bad thing. I'm not going to let myself do that. Like, if statistically
I don't want you to do that.
100% came back, I would lean into that. I will lean into a positive statistic every day. But I'm not going to be like, well, the most likely thing that's going to happen is one's going to come back, because it can't, there's no likely number because we have not done this. That's how I am in my head. I'm like, that's not,
I understand that thought process.
You know?
I'm just like,
yeah.
the most likely thing that's going to happen is 1 in 4 because that's the average of all the people in the
Stop
world.
saying it.
So,
Those people aren't us.
and they not like us.
They not like us.
But even you saying the like using statistics to calm myself or to like handle a bad thing. I don't know what you said. Hold on. Let me think.
The lies that your anxiety is telling you?
Yeah. You also use statistics to, you can be future thinking using stuff like that. Like, the chances are I'm not going to have a heart attack for the next 30 years.
Yeah.
That, the only way I can say the chances are is because of all of the research that has ever been done. And that is a looking forward thing. That's not just a now thing.
Yeah. No, I get that.
So it is like,
But I'm saying that's a statistic that supports a positive result. And I think that that's beneficial. But when it just comes to this, where it's we're not going to know until we know. Where health anxiety stuff, there are ways to check. There are things to do. There's nothing we can do with embryos that are at a lab. I can't like check my blood pressure to see how the embryos are doing.
of course.
That to me, I'm like, every statistic is out the window right now because none of it matters until we hear back.
I hear that thought process. My thought process is all we have are the statistics.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I just think it highlights such a difference in how we handle things like this.
100%.
There's a point where I'm like, that's we keep to ourselves. You don't need to share it with me because
You're
that is
making
now.
it sound like all day I sit on the couch and I go, only 1 in 4 of them are going to make it. Only 1 in 4 of them.
When we talk about the embryos a lot, or other people ask, we're waiting on tests, you say that there are 4 out, but
Can I explain why I feel it's important
yes, please.
to
Disclose
disclose
that.
that is because I am trying to protect
Yeah.
me and you
Yeah.
from the conversation we've had multiple times with other people, which is
Yeah.
that people don't understand that there's a drop off and they go 18 eggs. Holy crap. Oh my God, that's amazing. And then you go, oh, well, there's more steps and it's not going to end with 18. And then they're like, oh, what do you mean?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, well, like,
I get when that becomes the conversation.
that's why I preemptively do it.
Yeah.
Because we've never had a conversation where people didn't assume or where people knew about the drop off on their own.
Yeah.
Every time people are surprised by the drop
Yeah.
off. So
get
to
that.
me, that's not me being negative. That is me protecting you and
setting expectations.
setting expectations.
I hear that.
From in 3 weeks when they ask again how'd it go,
Yeah.
and we go, yeah, well, you know, we got 1.
Yeah.
And they go, what? You had 18.
Yeah.
And then I
get
don't
that.
want to have to go, well, 18 went to 15 and 15 goes to, but that's all normal.
Yeah.
1 is good out of 18.
Yes. I
So to me,
totally get that.
I
thought
just don't
process.
see it as negative.
Yeah.
I see it as that is
clarifying
normal.
the reality to people.
It's almost positive to me.
That makes total sense to me because people don't understand IVF. We didn't going into it understand the drop-offs at all. So that makes so much sense. And people are curious that they're like, anytime I tell people how many eggs we got, they're like, is that good? Is that bad? I don't know numbers. And I think that's why I consider doing the whole like no number sharing because it gets so confusing and like you can have a huge number. Someone could have 100 eggs. I actually don't know that that's possible, but 100 eggs and get no embryos. So I had a fear of sharing any of those numbers and getting other people's hopes up and then having to monitor people's reaction to things and it impacting me negatively of like, oh my God, amazing. Or like, oh, that's not so good. So I get that. And I feel like, yeah, maybe like sharing numbers I think is helpful for other people going through IVF. So maybe it could have been like if we shared all posts of like this and here's the information, and drop-offs can be confusing or whatever.
Yeah.
Which I think is why our doctor, I think he is similar in that way with me of like, I will hear the facts like, well, yeah, 1 in 4. So you got a chance to get one. That's great. But he doesn't like to talk about other people's experiences too much because everyone is so different.
Yeah.
And I think that this is such a unique experience where there are the stats, but the stats are so confusing because everyone is so different. Like even if you look up the average egg someone's going to get, you know from your experience, you did 2 egg retrievals with insanely different numbers. And now think that those numbers are added into the stats. And it's like, whoa, if the stats said I would have gotten 10 eggs and one I got none and one I got so many, I don't even know how I would have prepared for either of those moments. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but to me, I look at my 2 numbers and I'm like, they net out to the numbers.
I get that they net out, but
That's the average.
it made it for a very disappointing first round because it was so lower than the average.
Totally.
And it made it for such like an incredible second round where one of those could have been your only experience. And that could either like really hurt people and make them feel like inferior when it comes to this. I think there's a time and a place for stats, and with IVF, with something so up in the air and so personal and so out of our control, can get really tricky and harmful. Because I just like, even being on Reddit pages and reading like people so devastated with their numbers and wondering what they did wrong, and then it's like, might have been nothing you did wrong.
Yeah.
I think it's such IVF is too tricky for stats.
I think what I am wanting you to hear from me is that being what I'm calling realistic is not me being negative.
Totally.
And that is why I get so defensive over like this
fair.
mindset,
Yeah.
which is like, I would call you saying we're going to get 4 optimistic. That is,
No, I agree. I'm
that's
not.
like, you agree that that's like positive, optimistic thinking.
Oh, it's like
But I
borderline
don't-
delusional. No, I'm not saying that the stat referencing is negative. It's the like over hyperfixation and constantly like, well, we're probably only going to get 1. Like we'll just see. It's the negative talk around it. It's not just like the idea of like,
But me saying we're probably only going to get 1 is realistic.
yeah, I hear that.
I understand it, to you it feels negative, but like I don't like the painting of it as being negative.
That's fair.
Because it makes that result then seem bad.
Yeah.
And that is a good result. If
that's,
we get
that's
1
a
egg,
standard result.
that's a
great.
standard. Or if we get 1 embryo out of this, I'm going to be happy. And I don't want to feel like it was negative. It was a negative experience because we only got 1 when 1 is what we should get.
Yeah. I think you reframing it like that makes it easier. You saying like you'd be happy with that standard result, because in my head, you're going to be mad at and sad at that result.
Yeah.
Which you haven't said that. I'm fully just making that up. Like, I think because of the first round having not the best numbers and seeing how hurt that made you, I think hearing that in my head, it was negative and already sad and disappointed, instead of just 1 would be great. Like,
well,
I'll be happy. In my ears, I was hearing like, well, I'm probably already going to be disappointed. So this is, you know what I mean?
Well,
you see,
of
like,
course,
I'm not saying you said that. I'm saying like
no
that's
one
what I
wants
was
to walk
receiving.
out of 2 egg retrievals with 1 embryo.
Of course.
So I'm trying to make positive out of a negative experience in general, which is that I just did 2 egg retrievals and statistically will only get 1 embryo.
Yeah.
So to me, I'm trying to lessen the blow of an already rough situation. And it's easier for me and better for me mentally to be able to be like, 1 is what I should get out of this now. if
And
any
that's
more
normal and
happens,
great
it's
and awesome.
amazing. If any less happens, at least I wasn't expecting 4.
Yeah. No, I totally
Like,
get that.
because that will end me.
Yeah.
And so to me, like, I have a hard time when I'm like just trying to like voice that either to other people or to you, and then you sometimes will paint it as like me being negative.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like, I'm just trying to have one little positive nugget
Yeah. I hear
that is like likely.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I think I was hearing it as like a pre-disappointment. Then instead of like hopeful, optimistic, whatever happens, but like this is going to be great. I was seeing it as like, well, statistically, this is not going to be great and I'm already upset, than like a being prepared and realistic and like ready and like, here we go. You know what? We might get one and that would be awesome.
Yeah. The reality
that's
is
not what
that
I was hearing.
I am already upset from this situation and how this has all turned out.
Yeah.
That even one would be like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's all. It's
Only
like,
takes one. Yeah. I hear you. Thank you for explaining that. I think I was adding a lot of like my own emotions and thoughts onto your specific wording on it.
Yeah.
Where in my head I'm like, let's just wait and sit back and see what happens, and like we'll see. Our embryos are getting tested. We'll see. We're hoping to get some embryos back.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking in that sense that anything else but that was a negative talk and a negative way to think of it.
Yeah.
And your head is like, well, we might get one. That's statistically possible. So let's hope for that and we'll see what happens.
I also think like, yes, we're in this together. Everything we're doing is together, but like this piece is a little bit more my piece, and I just need it to be, I want you to like come a little bit more my way, where I'm like
fair.
how
That's
I'm
so
trying to cope with it, instead of like, oh, I don't like when it's negative, so don't talk to me like that.
Yeah,
like
that's
you
fair.
can feel that way for you, but don't talk to me like that. I'm like, this is
But
my positive.
I need you to meet me there right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think 100% I can do that. And thank you for saying that. I think I'm realizing where I was feeling unable to go there is I also have this fear of our next steps of if we get one embryo from your egg retrieval and then my body doesn't do its next step of taking the transfer, and you have talked so much about how like I don't want to do another egg retrieval, but I really want an embryo from my eggs. I'm already having this preemptive fear of letting you down and having to do it again.
Yeah.
That I'm like, no, let's be positive. We're going to get so many embryos and they're going to work and we got this.
Yeah.
You know? So I think I was like letting my fear of the next step dictate how you were coping and managing this step.
Yeah.
And I was like pushing that on you. So
And if we get one embryo and it doesn't stick, that doesn't stick. It's like 60% likely that it sticks. That's almost a coin flip. It's like,
God damn the I'm just kidding.
I mean, it's just like,
kidding, I'm kidding.
That's why I'm already sad that one is my best case, not my best case, but like high on my the most likely. Yeah. That is sad.
Yeah. Your probability is one embryo, and then the probability of that one embryo is 60%.
Right.
And that's scary. Yeah. I think I'm just really scared that when it comes over, like up until now, it's been your part is your part, my part is my part, and we're helping to take care of each other and we're managing that and whatever, all of these things. And then it's like navigating us being happy that one of the parts worked, and then navigating feeling sad that the one of the parts worked, but not putting it all on like your sadness, my happiness.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's why I've been forcing my positivity on you of like, this is our bubble and thing that we're doing, that like collectively, let's just all make this more positive. But then that was negating your experience and what you needed
and
to
my
navigate
and my
that
version
sadness.
of positivity.
Totally. Yeah.
That's the difference. It's not like you putting your positivity on me.
Yeah.
It's we have different views of what positivity
100%.
looks like right
Yeah, you're
now.
like, but I'm not being negative.
Yeah,
so.
and nobody wants to be told they're being negative. Like, you know what I mean? It just doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I think
all.
I've just been hyper focused at the next part is virtually all up to me.
That's your body. Yeah.
Yeah. But then to think like, okay, well, she's talking about this about the embryo. So then she's going to be like, well, statistically, like, this is a coin flip of you getting pregnant this time. I'm like, that talk around that will crush me.
Totally.
So then I'm like, okay, now I need to like set this precedent of the way we communicate about this and needing that. But when it comes down to that, you will see that as more of like, that's my part, and you'll lean more into
I will do whatever
need.
you need.
Yeah. So right now we need to lean into more of what you need. And if I'm not in a place at the moment to be like hearing that, then communicating like, I totally hear you, but I'm struggling with X, Y, and Z right now. Like,
sure.
I need to not,
of course,
be in that mindset. Yeah. I'm doing business with you, baby.
Breakthrough.
Yeah, that was really helpful to understand your thought process in that. It's funny how we can get stuck in our own views of like, you're seeing that I'm ignoring facts, I'm seeing you as being negative, which neither were true. No. But it's just we see and experience and handle things so differently that's how it was feeling. And yeah, it's just not the case.
Man, really feel like these last few days I've just been like I feel like I'm like really I'm like being very open to other people. Yeah. Like this weekend, we had this big chat with friends this weekend, and it was just very like,
oh, we don't have time to talk about all this right now because we're so deep. But I do want to say that I was so impressed. We had like a political conversation with some people this weekend, and your tact of moving through such difficult conversations while still staying true to yourself and being honest. Like, there were times where I think I would have, and I did, not fully share my opinion, either because it didn't feel worth it, or like I didn't know it enough to be like, is this worth saying? And I feel like you did not shy away from disagreeing or clarifying. Like, I was just like so impressed with the way you moved through that, and we didn't get to talk about that.
Thanks, babe.
Yeah, I was like, am I watching like a master class and like sharing your thought? Like, even you were like, oh, but have you thought about like, this kind of makes me feel X, Y, and Z and blah, 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 blah. Like, it was just really impressive. And I was like, you could have opened yourself up to a lot of pushback and did, and still like navigated it. Proud of you.
Thank you.
Really
you were
impressive.
such a great partner during that conversation too. Like, jokes you were cracking.
You were, I felt like we kind of switched for a minute. Where like you were like so serious mode, and I was like, I'm just gonna like lighten shit up. I knew there's a couple times I thought of a joke, and I'm like, oh, she's gonna love this.
Dude, and Cam is not one to make like
light of a serious topic.
No, like
offensive jokes.
Yeah, like you won't make a joke like the pandemic situation, like that type of things. You won't do that. Especially not during a conversation about a thing. Yeah. And you were doing it. And
I just felt like we had to lighten the mood a little bit a couple times.
Well, yeah, because I was like almost crying multiple times.
Yeah, I felt like
it's like a 5-hour conversation over drinks.
So
guys, it was crazy.
I really did feel like it was getting like a little, not heated by any means, but just like heavy. Yeah. And I was like, okay, we got to do a couple jokes. We need some comedic relief. And if it's got to be me, because my wife is busy, I have to tap me in, baby. Tap me in.
Yeah, I just love that you tapped yourself in, bro. Yeah. You really said it's my turn. Here I come.
I grabbed her hand under the table and went, I'm going in.
And here she comes. Yeah. So 9/11. Just kidding. That's not funny.
Thank you for listening, PBs, as Taryn and I navigated handling our miscommunication. I really liked this.
I did too. I had a great time.
Yeah.
I hope that was fun for anyone to watch.
I feel like a lot of times
it's either really annoying or fun.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe TMI. And there are sometimes whenever we get into these conversations where there's clearly a miscommunication, I think we both think like, do we take this off the podcast? Yeah. And I'm so appreciative when we fight through. Yeah. Because I know we're just having a disconnect. Right. And I know that people are watching and either they're like, oh, 100% I understand Cam. Oh, 100% understand Tara.
Or these bitches need to get divorced.
Or they're like, yeah, hate them. Or they're like, oh, I see where both of them are coming from. And I think it's really helpful when we talk about, I mean, I don't know how relatable this specific conversation was, but when we do this, a lot of times people will be like, oh, Cam, I 100% agreed with you. and then hear the conversation like, oh, now I get it. And my girlfriend thinks the same way Taryn does.
Yeah.
And getting to hear you understand her understand you, whatever way it may be, I get it now. Because I think sometimes it's hard to see it when you're like, you're looking at a painting with your nose against it when you're fighting in a relationship.
That's a good one.
Thank you.
That's a good one. You don't even step back and see.
You just can't see it. Like, we should just fight with our noses touching. That'd be cute. But I feel like sometimes you just can't see it. But if you, like, we'll watch Love Island and somebody will have a fight.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh my God, guys, this and that. Oh, this is all, duh, how aren't you getting this?
Right.
But then we could have the exact same fight the next day and not get it because we're just too close to it.
Yeah.
Like, you really just got to kind of like, back it up.
You got to
Maybe when we fight, we could have somebody put on a puppet show of
during the fight.
but they're doing no, they're showing us the fight, but then they're doing the puppets. I'm scared of puppets, so I don't want to be puppets.
You're scared of puppets on
yeah,
it?
they're so scary.
Oh,
but like pretend it's a little.
shoot! So we can never have like a puppet thing with our kids.
No, we can all get.
What if
over
you're
it.
the controller of the puppet? Would you be still scared?
No, I think that'll be okay. I don't like puppets or mascots.
You're saying things I've never heard you say in
You
my
know
life.
that I'm scared of anything in a furry cup. You don't know who's in there. You don't know who's in
You
there.
did say you didn't like that one mascot wherever we were recently.
Or like walking through Disney and they're dressed up. Someone's like, you want a picture with Goofy? I'm like, no.
Don't lie,
That's
you Disney
not
adult.
Goofy.
No, she loves Goofy.
That is not Goofy. What did I just say? That is not
That's
Goofy.
Rob.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Whatever.
I don't like it.
I love you.
Santa at the mall?
That's different.
That's not Santa.
That's not even a mask.
I'm not going to go sit on his lap.
It's not even a mask, honey. That's a man.
Pretending.
Pretending. Like, it's different if you're in a mask and you're a full new character.
I don't know. At least
But
like you
to
no,
show
but you
your
can't
face-
get away with it. Like if you do something as mall Santa, like sorry, Mr. Jimmy, we know it's you. Somebody's in like their little Elmo costume on Hollywood Boulevard. I don't know who the fuck's in there. They could literally murk me. And I
But
wouldn't
why
know.
are you? Why is? I don't
What?
even know how to ask the question.
Ask it?
We're not talking about it's okay. Who's better to be bad?
I'm just saying they
You've
could
used
do.
both of them to
I said
be
because
like
I said I'm
criminals.
scared because I'm scared of them.
But just as not bad people. They're just people.
But you don't know who is in the Elmo outfit.
Imagine it's someone that doesn't have a criminal background and that Santa also doesn't have a criminal background.
Imagine it's a murderer. Imagine it's a murderer in there. I can't imagine anything because I don't know who's in there. I'm not going to go, Elmo, hi. Also, am I delusional? That's not Elmo.
Okay.
It's weird. It's creepy. I don't like it. And
That's
they're like
fine.
hot and sweaty in there.
Yeah, well, mall Santa's hot and sweaty and looking at you with his own eyes.
I don't like it either.
Yeah, but which one don't you like more? And it's Elmo.
It's Elmo
That's crazy.
touching me with his furry little hand.
Dude, the next time we're in a public place and one of those little sweet characters comes and waves at you, I'm
Punch him
going to
square in
say,
the face.
don't wave at her. She doesn't want it.
Please.
You're welcome. And then I'm going to go on the
No,
side.
but don't do that because it could be a really great person. I don't want to hurt their feelings.
Oh, now we're thinking they could
Well,
be great. You thought they were a murderer
No,
2
I'm
seconds
saying
ago.
I never said that. I said you just don't know. It could be. I didn't say it is. I said we don't know.
All I'm saying is sounds like you're being a little negative.
Love you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.